Oh.
I always laugh at this story.
Yeah, we're gonna see Napoleon. We're at
be
Hinckley Grand Cinema. This place is awesome. Shout out to them.
Yep.
We're playing with fire today. We just ate a huge meal, and we're gonna go see a long fucking movie.
Yeah. So bring on the caffeine.
We're playing with fire. Actually, speaking of which.
Oh, you got me one?
Yeah, but these are. You never had a non-carbonated one.
Oh, I have not.
So try it.
Here we go.
Here we go. Celsius, raspberry acai, plus green tea.
All right,
plus
cheers.
my throats. Cheers.
Thank you, sir. We're
playing with fire.
Sponsored by no. No, we are. Yeah.
There's a few things that I learned about this movie.
Yeah.
And I just looked up last night. I don't like to look at reviews or anything, but I was like...
Research on Napoleon himself.
I just remember the trailer, he blows up the pyramids.
No, he shoots a cannon at it just to see what to do.
He, like, blows it up like Transformers.
No, he doesn't.
It
barely even does anything when he hits it. But
anyway, I learned that he didn't do that in real life.
So there's several legends surrounding him that are like they're not even accurate or true.
Like he's super short, but
he's not.
I looked it up, and they're like he was above average for the time period.
The Napoleon complex was
really
created by
I think.
A cartoonist, you said?
I think, well, it was like a political cartoonist.
Yeah, they're just
that's what it said. I don't know any details beyond that.
Yeah.
But what I think happened is Bugs Bunny fought Napoleon.
Oh, yes, he did.
And he was shorter than Bugs Bunny.
Yep.
And I think that's where I got it in my head that he's super short.
Yep, and
from like a 60s Bugs Bunny cartoon.
That Bugs Bunny's ears add so much more height.
Yeah.
Than he's willing to admit. Yeah, he pretends like
they like ripped on him and made him like super short and then the one line is like, "You're just a tiny little brute, and you're nothing without me," is what his girlfriend, woman, I don't know. I don't remember her name.
So they're just running with these tropes. So he didn't shoot the nose off the Sphinx. That's not true.
I read that.
I hope they don't show that in this. I'll be pissed.
They figured it out that for sure.
It was like Alexander the Great.
Hundreds of years earlier.
Yeah.
So
weird.
Yeah.
Just giving it a nose job.
Yeah, you gotta get.
So
go back to Spaceballs.
Other than that, like I feel that so given these things we've learned recently, I feel like this movie is definitely going to stretch a lot of like the
truths.
Yeah, and unfortunately for me, that's not what I'm going for. I kind of want a little more historically.
Fortunately for me,
you're like
I don't give a flying fuck. I just want a good movie.
Yeah, and it might be. I mean, maybe it works.
It looks beautiful.
It does.
I have a really fucking good feeling about this movie being a good ass movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And once I read, I was like, oh, and I was like, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's not 3.5 hours. Oh God!
I thought it was gonna be like Killers of the Flower Napoleon, like 3.5 fucking
cheeks.
Oh man.
So
we were talking yesterday on the phone, and you really like Joaquin Phoenix.
I do. I love him.
I think he's all right. He's
fantastic.
He's serviceable as an actor. I think he'll do the job. I don't know any of the other actors.
Did you watch Joker, right?
No, I didn't watch Joker.
Oh, okay. He's got a pretty amazing
I was just
performance
annoyed by the trailer. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like that movie that much, but like his performance in it is as good as you could ask for.
Well, I'm sure he'll do just great in this one.
Yeah.
It looks gritty, and it looks, I'm pretty sure it's rated R.
Oh, it's going to be scandalous, I think. I'm hoping.
I think there's just a lot of death and violence.
Yeah.
And blood.
And it's going to be visceral and no mercy.
We'll see.
It's Napoleon, man.
I hope it's not gross. I hope it's not a bunch of people pooping their pants and spitting on each other. I hope it's just straight up fucking fighting.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and there'll be.
I think I said "fuck" like 7 times already.
Yeah, fuck it, whatever.
Since
what the
started,
fuck?
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I've always found Napoleon to be a very fascinating character throughout history.
I didn't. That's why.
He's so crazy.
I think that's why you're hung up on the historical part of it, and I am not, because I don't really care about the character.
Well, and like I watched a YouTube video not terribly long ago about like Napoleon's greatest foe, and it was like it's not anyone you would think. No, it's like this guy that was just as smart as him and was politically outmaneuvering him over and over again, and it kept stalling out his campaigns and all this and whatever. And
my thing is, I hope he's not just a total dickbag.
I don't think he is.
I hope that, like,
I don't think so.
In order to have a good character is like, you got to have him like he means well type shit, you know. Like, I hope he's just not like a torturing people and just a total ass bag.
No,
I just don't want to fucking deal with that.
I think I guess he rose to power as a military general.
Like, he started a revolution.
Yeah,
basically.
and he bailed France out, and then they wanted him to be the emperor, and he's like, oh crap, and then that corrupted him. I think that's essentially what happened in history. Okay. He was like for the people and all that, and then it just, I mean, any of you historians would know a lot more about that if you guys like. Well,
if I had to wager
into that stuff, so.
If I had to wager what I think this will be, I'm thinking it's either. It could go a lot of ways, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's at least a 9. It's probably, I don't know. That's probably pushing.
That's just what I think it'll be.
Yeah,
just because it's, you know what, the pedigree of the director Ridley Scott.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's going to be visually stunning.
There's 3 points guaranteed right there.
Like, exactly.
It's ridiculous.
He's great.
Yeah, he is. He's fantastic. So.
What do you think of this Celsius drink?
It's good. I like that there's no carbon in it, because holy crap.
I hate carbonation.
Carbonation is annoying.
That's literally why I don't drink beer.
It's irritating, and it's bad for your bones, kids, so don't drink it.
It's not bad for your bones.
Yeah, it is. It's proven that. Carbonation weakens your bone structure somehow. I don't know. That's just what I've heard a million times. It could be just like this movie, you know, where Napoleon shoots off the nose. I mean, it could be a fake. That's our culture these days. We just make shit up and people believe it.
Months later, I still have a cough. What the fuck, body?
You got, like, pneumonia probably or something?
I don't know. Maybe it's walking pneumonia or something, but it's just been still, like, it's just been not, I just can't get, I can't shake it.
That's crazy.
Anyway,
so yeah, I'm thinking, if I had to actually get accurate, it's probably going to be an 8. I hope it's a 9.
I'm not thinking. I think it'll probably be a 9.
I don't think
just from the musical score during the trailer, I was like, "This is epic."
Yeah, that's true.
I remember just being like, "I have to see this."
So. Yeah, we've seen so many movies where this is in the previews before. I was just like, my mouth's I'm salivating, you know, over like when is this gonna get here?
They open fire on a fucking crowd of people with cannons.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh my, people getting just ripped apart.
Yep. That's what a revolution is like, man.
I think it'll be really good.
Brutal.
I hope that his woman isn't as big of a succubus as she seems like.
Or like is the reason why he fucks everything up in the end because of like love or some dumb shit where it's like you had it together, Napoleon. But I don't know. I'm fascinated. I've watched I think there's 4 known chess games that he did that are like recorded by like kings and queens and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I know it's a side note, but I love chess, and like he is like you can see his brilliant strategy. In one particular game, I'm like, I would have never even thought to do that, and it's just so abstract, and it wins the game.
I know he was considered one of the greatest generals of all time.
Yeah,
but I hate chess, so I don't think I like this guy.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
fuck him.
Well, then you don't like me either. Well, fuck you.
That's pretty clear.
I mean, let's be honest, right? So anyway, I think it's gonna be an 8. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited, and I'm also happy it's not a super long movie.
I hope when I come out here, I have a big smile on my face, and I'm like, that was great.
That was amazing.
If I don't, it's probably the normal tropes that always ruin it for me.
I hope it's not.
The same shit every time.
Come on, buddy. You got another chance to knock it out of the park. So
the biggest criminal offenders of all my movie going history of my whole life is nothing happens. When nothing happens and it's stagnant, I fucking hate it.
It's all fluff. And just filler, and you're like, well, where's the we should be swinging from major epic thing happening to major crux of the story
downtime here and there is cool.
None of this I don't know.
Give stuff time to breathe. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But something. There's no way nothing's gonna happen in this.
There's
from
so
the trailer,
much to cover,
there's so much
and
shit,
I don't know if it covers how long of a span of his life.
Watch, it's like the Napoleon Hotel. It's just drinking and screaming. And they just scream and nothing, and then he burns it down.
And that's it. And he walks away like burning in the
Napoleon Hotel.
Oh God. That fucking movie.
All right, we're gonna let you go.
Yeah, we'll see you
sometime later. All right. Boom, another one down.
Yeah, we knocked that one out.
Knocked it out.
Where to begin?
I will
start by saying...
I'll start by saying that is a dreary ass movie.
Yeah, I think
there was not a single sunny day in the whole movie that I can remember.
Maybe
at the very beginning.
A couple of moments in there, but they definitely put a filter on it.
They made it just look.
They graded out a little bit because I think that they were trying to emphasize the muck and the type of world
he
that
kept saying, I love my motherland. I wish only to return to my motherland.
So dreary. Why
do you like this place? This place is horrible.
It's gross.
It's like fucking depressing.
Wow. Okay, so this, for me, I think that this movie had a lot. It was lacking quite a bit of. I think for me, I wanted more action. I wanted more.
It was stitched.
It was weird.
It was missing. It was hard
huge chunks of time go by.
Hard to follow. Where you were in time and
they do timestamp stuff and they say where this is happening, but it's it's jumping quite a few years at a time sometimes, and so many battles happen that you don't see, and I think that's...
It said 61 battles that he fought.
And we see 4.
I think it's 4, yeah.
4
I thought
or 5.
It was 3 or 4.
Somewhere in there.
Because
major ones.
A couple battles were just glimpses of it.
Yeah, and... So it rushes in areas where I feel like it could have taken its
breathe more
time, and then in other areas, well, I don't know. I liked his personality.
Weirdly enough, I think this movie should have been longer.
Literally, and actually, this is probably one of the only times we'll ever say that. Is it could have used some more time to develop.
I was dreading, I was like, okay, and I was like, 2.5, 2 hours and 38 minutes.
Yeah,
that's not terrible.
No, we've had worse.
But I feel like. I don't know. I feel like it could have been a 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that...
explored some of the other shit, I don't know.
There's a lot going on. It definitely, like I said, it skips a lot. So
at the end when he, suddenly, bam, so he runs into, 60 dudes, and he's like...
At the end?
Towards the end, he's like... I just love this country. I just want to return home.
Oh, his old army.
He has
the 5th Army.
He has 50 dudes following him.
Small little. It's his retinue.
And then he has 75 guys he runs into that are we can't let you go.
Yeah, they're and they know he's there, and they're because he comes back from exile, and they're you can't be here.
You have to go back to exile. But
yeah, we have to take you
back. Then he's like, come on. Just come with me, and they're
he's like, okay! I miss you guys. I miss our victories together. And then they're like, long live the emperor. So they just fuck our duties to.
So then now he's got 125 people.
Suddenly, instantly.
125 people, and then the very next scene, he has an army of 125,000 people.
Men. Instantly, and you're
what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been cool to see 20 minutes of him
assembling,
getting
old the band back together, man. And no, it doesn't work that. There's a lot of major characters in this that are his direct friends and allies that could have just been stitched. I don't know if maybe they weren't around at the time I don't know if they're I really don't know how accurate this movie is in terms of historical facts and his relationship with his wife.
But forget about...
Is that all embellished? Because that was a huge...
Just for this review,
sure,
eliminate all historical knowledge.
Wow.
Just
as a movie.
As a movie,
I think it leaps too much. It leaps too much, and it leaves you wondering how did he get that army?
Yeah.
Why was he why didn't they pounce on him the second they found out?
The fucked up thing is this happens a bunch of times.
It does
early on where you're Yeah, and you're like it left me wanting just information, like what happened.
Yeah.
Like how did you get here?
Yeah.
But
so like I would say there are holes. They're not plot holes, but there's like holes in the story. Where there's like
not plot holes.
Yeah, there's not. There's not.
Like just like big holes and like
it's a good movie.
You have no
for
idea
that.
What's going
it
on.
holds itself together that way, but the stitching is loose. It's like
I like how it's chronological.
Yeah, it is.
Because
that jump to the
getting
past
sick
shit.
of those ones where they do that.
Yeah.
I mean, not sick of it, but I feel like
not for a movie like this,
in a historical fucking biopic, that type of storytelling doesn't belong, and I compliment him on that.
Yeah, no. So he has this like ridiculous relationship with his wife and this girl this woman
that was probably the best part.
It totally was. I love their love-hate relationship, the way they can't they have power struggles of will, but they love each other so much, and it's just like this butting heads
weird,
and it is a really unique relationship, and I think the way they both of them their chemistry on camera is really good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is, okay, hear me out here. So you meet the Duke of Prussia or whatever. Okay, he's got a kind of like Austria. He's got like a kind of an Austrian accent.
Yeah.
You go to meet the guy from Britain. The guy from Britain's got like a British accent. British. You meet the guy from Russia. He's got like a Russian accent.
And then you meet
Bonaparte from fucking France is like straight up American English. Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
It was so weird.
It's all right. I mean,
I'm glad
it's an American-made movie
because people fake accents and they suck at it sometimes.
So I will say this. I think some of his line delivery was kind of flat in some areas. I didn't feel like he was
really good here, really poor here. Every other scene, you're like, wow, he's just all over the place. You kind of don't get a bead on this character.
Exactly,
and you can't get us what is this character? I couldn't get it.
And I think that was
intentional.
Well, no, I think that's one of the things that bothered me most about the film was his actual performance was really good at times, and then other times you're like, well, what you're wishy-washy, and there's no consistency.
Not consistent at all.
And there's no I don't know. There's just something missing in
the other part. I'll say is the supporting characters in this movie. Are all throwaway dudes.
They kind of are, yeah.
Like, he doesn't have, like, a really good friendship with anyone. The couple people you think they are kind of traitoring on him.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, or the people at the very beginning that you think are his good friends, they just never show up again.
Yeah, and maybe that's just, again, sticking to the historical.
Sure, but
I don't know,
to me, it felt hollow.
It did.
That whole part, he doesn't have any friends, but he has the charisma to lead this whole nation, and they promote him to emperor,
love him, and all that.
You never see his charisma.
Exactly. Actually, that's the weird thing about it, because I don't know.
I wish they would have fleshed that out. 20 minutes of that.
Yep,
there's a bunch of
why they love him and why all these things. It's just
why they promoted him
popular, and it's like what the fuck?
It's weird.
I don't know.
It's kind of a weird movie. I don't know.
It is, and that's why
it's by no means a bad movie.
No,
I think it's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
I don't know if it's a great movie. It's not quite great to me. But.
Yeah, and I had difficult. But again, going back to the whole relationship with his wife thing, I think that is easily the most compelling aspect of his whole life and all that.
He really likes to fuck doggy style.
Oh, he does. There's some.
All you hear
is
it's like
it's just. There's a couple of cute scenes where they're like. He's like, he says it in his own way, but he's like, acts like a horse. And then she's like, okay, fine, and whatever. So they have this relationship.
There's no nudity though. It's weird.
No, it's fine.
It's all like her lift up the dress, like let's go.
And then they'll show it for a second. You're like, whatever. And
then the other part is it's extremely at times, not consistently, but it's really gory at times. Mm-hmm. There's some really gory shit. His horse. I was like, oh my god!
In the beginning, just
his
takes
horse
a
gets
cannonball
a cannonball to the chest, and you're like, what the?
And it shows it. It just goes, whoa! And he's on it. And he goes, wah!
It was like drastic. I was like,
oh, is this that kind of movie that's going to be?
A bunch of heads getting cut off.
And and
it starts off with the revolution, the guillotine, and Marie Antoinette's head gets chopped off, and
she's done for.
It's pretty gruesome. You could tell there's a lot of CGI blood though. From like
it wasn't that bad.
But there's like they're all running and then like getting gunshots like. But it's like I don't know.
Yeah, nobody can ever do it right, but whatever.
That's
I think so. There's a lot of politics in this movie, but it's not terribly forced
not beating in your head.
Yeah, it's not, but it's also like I think it's almost too light because you don't quite.
I was gonna say you don't really understand the motives or anything.
Yeah, you don't. They don't.
Like because it's rushed. All that
exactly, and you're not getting into the minds of his adversaries and why they're motivated against him.
So he meets this guy
and stuff like that.
And he's like, "Let's be brothers," blah blah, and then. There's a throwaway line like, well, he did this shit to me, so he's my enemy now.
Yeah.
That's it, like one line, and then, okay, now we're going to war in this place. And
yeah, I don't know. I mean, so spoilers, or should we worry about that?
We'll do a rating here in a second. But what I'm going to say is, like, it was beautiful to look at, but at the same time, it wasn't.
Well, yeah, because it's a beautiful melancholy of like he uses that movie.
We go to Moscow. I mean read a history book, kids. But
oh my god, it's
not even a spoiler. It shouldn't be.
No, if you paid attention.
But anyway, we go to fucking Moscow, and it's just like all film grained over, like just
it's bad,
gray.
Yeah, you're just like, but it's setting the mood of like scorched earth.
Remind me of the Matrix, kind of how the Matrix is all green all the time. This movie's like gray and brown.
That typical,
like a brownish
gray. That was
gray.
like a late '90s thing where there's green or blue.
This is like just a weird, dreary.
Yeah, Underworld used the green a lot.
And here's the part that tells me they had like they put a filter on it, is that all these guys have like okay. So there's several different types of armies.
Yeah.
This guy's red, these guys wear blue.
Yeah.
And you can't fucking
they're all
tell.
Gray. It's all
can't tell the difference when they're in the battle. I'm like, who's the fucking fighting who? Yeah. Who's winning? I couldn't tell who's winning.
No, you can't.
Because in battle scenes,
you can't.
It shows when people die.
If it's done right.
In a battle scene, it shows like, okay, more blue guys are dying now.
Yeah,
you get the idea that they're losing.
In this, it's just a mess of.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. And how can he tell if his guys are winning?
The other thing is, he's this brilliant tactician through the ages. Like, oh, he's the greatest military general. I didn't see it.
No, and I
didn't
because they didn't show you enough battles, and they didn't show you the actual brilliance of his moves. They do in the one battle where you see how
the
he's
winner
like,
one got this spoiled in the trailers.
Yeah, it's stupid.
And then there's like 4 battles. One of them he loses terribly at the end.
Yeah, Waterloo. I mean, we all know that.
Yeah,
which I don't think panned out that way.
But it was what did he do good there?
The problem the problem with that whole, and I don't know if this is true or not, but according to the movie, like, if he was that smart, he would never go to war with that many armies. It's 5 times his size of an army. Why would he even attempt?
There's 200,000 guys here.
Yeah, it's like
there's
over here. There's these guys, so we got to take them out one at a time, and then like your enemies aren't gonna like join forces, and then so his army didn't make sense.
His army is 125,000 people. And he's up against like 800,000 dudes almost in 5 different armies. Yeah, and he's gonna take them out.
But like one at a time, he thinks. But they obviously know that where he is and everything, and so they're gonna fucking band together. And it's like, how?
And they do, and they defeat him
kind of easily, actually. And I don't think it was like that in real life. I think it was a very sketchy, touch and go like battle. And
remember when it said like
did win, but
whatever.
Like, I mean,
one day it said one day. Yeah. Implying that most of these battles were several days long.
Yeah.
Waterloo was over in like what I thought was 20 minutes.
No, not even.
In a battle. It was like
they rushed this movie a lot. They really do. And I think that
I bet there's an extended cut, and they're like, we don't want to be like fucking Oppenheimer and fucking Killers of the Flower Moon.
But in this case, it might have actually made
I think it would have. I think I would have liked it better.
I can't believe we're saying that, but it's
I know.
True.
I don't like super long movies.
It's the weirdest thing.
I don't like super long movies, but I feel like this could have benefited big time.
So
I'm going to get right to scores, I think. Unless you got more to hash out.
No, not. I mean, I'm kind of like, do we even have spoilers?
There
kind
really
of things to talk
isn't
about.
Spoilers,
There's
though.
Not. It's kind of that weird, because like, it's kind of in your face.
Spoilers.
All right, in case we say something crazy.
You kind of get the gist of
where we're at. There's some things, like some of his motivations and some of the weird things, especially with his wife.
The weird stuff, like he wants an heir.
Yep.
I don't know. There's so much weird stuff. Like they're both cheating on each other all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're still madly in love with each other.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird. And like,
because he's far away. So what does she?
Was
she
that
gets
his
lonely.
mom that like set him up to?
Yes.
Oh god.
Yeah, because
what a fucking weird mom.
Well, no, not for back then.
His
that's
mom's
not.
like, bang this 18-year-old.
So we know that you're not like, and get her pregnant, so that we know that it's not you who has the, because they're trying to have a, they're trying to have a kid.
He wants an heir.
Yep.
It's
and she
that's
can't
a huge,
produce one.
That's probably one of the biggest plot points of this movie is that he needs this heir.
He does.
And then he doesn't. He's not emperor at the end anyway, so none of that fucking mattered.
No, it didn't. But he didn't. I mean, he didn't.
So why make such a huge stink of it?
And like,
and why not focus on other things?
There's these scenes where he's just so upset about it that he like mistreats her,
slaps her and shit.
Yeah, and like, or like, will pick on her at a dinner party and just start
throwing silverware at each other.
Yeah. Shit. It's like, nah, because you didn't give me a baby. Yeah, he's just upset about it, and like the thing is he's got the whole weight of France and the Empire like bearing down on him to say, where's your heir? That's what's going to legitimize you. Exactly.
He's the only one that's like, France needs me to have this baby. You don't see, no one ever brings it up.
It's poorly executed.
Yeah.
All of, like a lot of the behind the scenes machinations. It's like almost like they expect you as a viewer to already know all that somehow.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
And we're not all in deep in Bonaparte's history and life and all that. Like,
by the way, it's freezing cold out, so I'm gonna turn the heat on.
Yeah, it is it's pretty chilly.
Sorry if it gets noisy.
And so he ends up. So he has to like divorce her to make a legitimate heir with
so he can marry someone else.
So he can marry, and it's like it's really it's heartbreaking for like
it is because you like
them
wife.
together, and she's great, and they're great together. He's always off to war, so he actually it hurts him
overall. I think
they write letters throughout the whole movie back and forth. It's just I love you.
I think scenes that he's not with her are like not good.
Yeah,
when he's with her,
it's
there's
fucking magical.
Good. It's chemistry.
Great.
It's good acting.
It is. Yeah,
they play off each other well.
Yeah.
When he's by himself, he's just like
he gets very like
he's got a couple words here,
you know, stone faced and doesn't have, yeah, and it's whatever. I mean, there are moments where he finds joy here and there, but it's usually because he's so lonely and he's stuck with it. He's far away from home, and the only thing he's thinking about the whole time is her and how to get back to her, and all the victories are for her in like France, so that they can, you know, it's his empire. So.
I didn't know the story, but remember when he's like, the bug gets him and he slaps it. I was like, he's getting malaria.
That's it. He's done.
I was is that how he dies?
Exiled.
I remember like from like high school that he died like of a disease in exile.
Probably.
So I was just assuming it was malaria, but it never says anything.
It doesn't say it. He just like it shows from the back of his head
over.
And then it just falls over while he's outside doing it. Like he's writing his last words, which were France
battle.
No, it's France Army Josephine. Those are the last so
France.
In real life, that's what he wrote. So, I mean, he really did love her.
Josephine.
So it's a tragic love story, unfortunately, but it makes for good. I mean, it's the best part of the movie. The battles were not that. I mean, they were great, but
I just don't think that like his story is that cool.
Well, I think they didn't give the character enough charisma.
Correct.
Period. He's not that charming and not
he smiles like 6 times.
He does, but like he's also in turmoil internally, and like so there's a lot of like him just being pissed off
by
all
providence
the time. But like where's that I want to follow you magnetism? Yeah, right. It's not written in the character. Honestly, if it was, Joaquin Phoenix did not portray it very well.
No,
I don't think that was on him though. I mean, really, it could have been.
I kept thinking like he's kind of a bitch. when he's in battle, he goes, he's like panic attack.
Oh, the very first battle.
When he goes in the first
battle, you see him.
The court is a mob, and they're like beating him up.
Because he's got a really hard task to take a fort and then turn the fort against a blockade that's all against its own men at sea.
Probably the coolest battle.
It really was. Like that was a battle.
Waterloo wasn't very cool.
No, it was.
The winter one was so gray and windy with snow. It was like hard to really.
It was kind of
watch it.
Yeah, like it made me.
I said I couldn't fucking tell what army was what when they're running away. I was like, are them Yeah. Is that the bad guys running, or
yeah?
I don't know. I couldn't tell if it was the Napoleon's army chasing them or them running away. I don't know anything.
Yep.
It was all blurry.
It's goofy. So there's a lot of machinations going on in politics that we don't really understand because it's such it's like a frill on it's the very edges of the story. It's like, but it's super important to all the motivations of what's happening, and you almost can't piece it together on your own, and it's kind of irritating.
and you like Napoleon, so you know.
I love Napoleon.
You know this story.
Let me get this straight. Like he's also but like his whatever, you get it. Like he's a famous person and whatever.
I know very little.
He's also a terrible person.
The only things I know about him is,
but like I like that's what I like, his brain. Like he's I'm attracted to hyper intelligent people for some reason.
So what do you think the distance between the armies at Waterloo was? I'm serious. What do you think the distance was?
That was
over half a mile.
Oh yeah, that was really far away.
Half a mile
and there's
between the armies.
Dude who's a sniper, right? And he's got
It says 1812.
Yeah, that rifle would have been expensive as fuck to have a monocle whatever.
Either way,
you know what I mean.
He's like, I got him in my sights.
Monocular or whatever. And he's like, you want me to shoot him? And Wellington's like, generals don't shoot at each other. That's dumb. That's like not honorable.
That's unbecoming of a general.
Right. Which is like super funny because like he's trying to play with honor and like Napoleon's all like, the English don't have honor, right?
Yeah.
What do we fight for? Like, or what? He had a line where it's like,
what? An army fights for what it doesn't have.
And so like they were like, oh really? Is that why you're fighting for honor? Like whatever. It's just funny. Yeah. So, but like, there's no way in fucking hell that guy could ever shoot, especially with muskets. Like you can't. They don't go that far. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, oh, do you want me to snipe him? It's like that would never happen.
Like I said about him
being
kind of a bitch, is like. He's like,
being kind of a bitch.
It's a ground war. I know the ground war. I can fight it.
Oh,
British don't know it.
Really? Because they
then they whoop his ass. Like when he does the cavalry, he's like, send in the cavalry. And
it was
like,
so pathetic.
The British have the perfect tactic to take out. It was hysterical.
Unbecoming of his abilities as a
watching
general.
them in a square.
Yeah.
And then there's just horses circling.
The British army take on the cavalry charge and they form squares with their units, and it ends. Well, yeah, but like you have to go into them. You don't just circle around and let them shoot at you.
Because they have swords, and they're just
they got the bayonets on, so it's just spear central. Like,
but I'm saying the people on the horses have swords.
They do. But I mean,
and they're just circling, getting picked off.
Yeah, it got dumb. Like, I was like, that really
can't be how it went.
No, I don't think this movie portrays that battle nearly as accurately as we'd find if we looked it up in history and did there's a YouTube channel I watch called Baz Battles where they actually show where the armies were on the field and like how they move in real time and all this stuff, and it's cool. And like, if I watched that, it would be like totally different from this movie.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I don't know. They made Napoleon look like a fucking moron at the end, and that kind of didn't like that.
They did
because like. I don't think he would have fallen
like
for
I
all
said,
this stupid basic
this whole time
on the battlefield like that.
This whole time,
or
like
traps.
The entire movie that I watched, I was like, "How is he that good?" Next battle.
Yeah, it was
How is he that good?
Yeah, where are these brilliant victories he's got? Because they just
winner one.
You don't.
That's it.
Yeah, but you don't see all the other amazing.
And then they
things
go all the way to Russia, and he loses like all his fucking soldiers.
Yeah,
and
he loses
like an idiot. Well,
so
that really happened.
He had 600,000 men that he commanded between multiple countries that went into Russia, and then he came back with 40,000, and they're like, "Dude, you fucked up. You're exiled. Like people, they're gonna kill you for how stupid of a." Idea that was because he let that's the thing, he let his ego, and that I think kind of really happened. So like,
it did happen.
It did. So
that's
he
literally
was just
the
like
history book shit.
Yeah. So he just got super zealous, and I gotta kill these guys, and it's like scorched earth wins every time, man. Sorry, and you're fighting like he didn't listen to his generals to turn back for the winter. I know your score is lowering.
It has been. The more we've talked about it, I was like, oh crap, it went down one. Damn it.
It did. Mine did too.
Fuck.
It's okay. It's still a good movie.
It might. Hold on. It might be.
Is it time to rate this?
It might be where I initially started.
Oh, okay. So you went up.
this actually happened. All this history stuff actually happened. So like it's
but how they portray that it happened is like I don't know
that
how
whole Russia thing was like 15 minutes. Of them starving to death, and they just kind of like hand
their horses,
along,
and then next thing, and then it's like the next scene. You're like
signing his exile.
Yeah, he's in a court, like in a.
I wanted to It's going to sound morbid, but I wanted to see more of the misery because it didn't really show anyone freeze to death or anything. They just
it showed like a corpse and
it showed one corpse. And it showed
people eating their horses.
People eating horses, and people just being cold.
It's like,
But it's like that's the biggest.
That was the hugest upset of his
entire life.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the worst thing.
And it was like
the worst decision
we did that.
he ever made.
Yeah.
And he killed
easily.
He lost 460,000 people because of that decision to go to St. Petersburg or whatever.
Yep, and to just like.
And then they just like, all right, let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, they just and then another point. I think it just happened to me. Oh, God damn it! No.
All right, well I'll tell you right now.
It's not that.
I'm floating between a 6 and a 7.
I'm probably gonna. I'm gonna just say it
between
now.
a 7 and 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started at an 8, walking out, but then I reflected. Our talking, I mean,
usually does that.
It erodes. It wears away the afterglow. Like it fades. Because you get to.
I didn't have an afterglow because I
didn't.
I was actually in like a state of disappointment. The last 15 minutes were really depressing. And it was dreary.
So,
if they would have ended on a sunny day or something. And then he died. I don't know.
His beloved Josephine, whatever, she just dies of sickness, and he fucking dies inside. And then after that, as soon as she was no longer in and that happened, by the way, way too fast. Harry, Napoleon, I'm dying, and it was just like.
And he gets there, and she's already dead.
She's already dead.
Doesn't show her die. Doesn't show fucking.
And he's talking to her daughter from her first marriage or whatever the fuck, and it's all this and he's just like, I forgive you, as if it's her fault, which is There are some stuck up moments that he has.
Stuck up.
He is a little bit. So it's fine.
I thought he was.
Part, but I felt like even this that was just so quick. It happened within 15 minutes too. She's
it was within 3 minutes.
Maybe, yeah.
It was. Probably. It was in 3 minutes.
It's
just
and shows her at home. You hear their letters
with the doctor
to each other, and they're
she's at home with the doctor, and she's like, he's like, but Napoleon's coming. And then
she's waiting.
That's maybe a minute long scene, and then it shows her in bed with her daughter. Looking all oh no.
You must keep her in bed.
And she's holding her mom's hand. And then Napoleon finally shows up.
It shows him rushing
and his daughter's she died on May 29th.
Blah, 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 and you're like,
that's it.
What a
anticlimactic.
Yeah, that's what this movie is.
Yeah.
It's hyper anticlimactic. It's a slow death, of death. Not even a death rattle. It's just it sucks. And for such a beautiful character,
right, 6.
For such a beautiful character, I think they just threw her away as it pissed me off.
She was one of the best things of this movie. Yeah, I'm going with a 6.
She probably is, honestly.
So what do you got?
I'm gonna son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. I wanted this to be a 7, but it just kind of isn't.
You know what? It's not. It's not a 7. It's a 6.
Is it really?
This is a fucking 6. Yeah.
It's above average.
But here's the thing.
It's good.
The only reason why I would watch it was for those two moments. Those when the two are together. That's the only part. That's the battles weren't that impressive. They were pretty cool, but their chemistry is just. That's the fascination for me. I
think you got the hots for her too.
Oh, I do. I mean,
she's pretty attractive.
She's really beautiful, but the
some big old cans.
They definitely pushed them up.
I was like, what? Every scene, I was like, holy crap! I can't stop looking at that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh man. Sorry.
That's why they that way.
That's literally why they did that, though. They had her in these dresses where she just got some knockers.
Yeah, and then no, she does. She's
knockers.
She's great actress. She did a great job playing the roles, and just All
right, so you're going with 6?
Yeah. Wow.
I went from a 7 to a 6. You went from an 8 to a 6.
I did because
we hashed it out.
Well, I'm thinking about what I saw, and part of me was I think that I hadn't identified a lot of things yet, and so in talking about like we always do.
It helps to talk about them.
It does. And
usually I don't even have, like, when I came up to this car, I was like, I think I got a number.
Yeah, we both said that. I'm like, I know where it's at. And then I'm like, wait a minute.
And we got in here and we just started talking. Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. A lot of you might, like, in your own hearts find it rating a little higher than that. But I honestly don't, because there's so many things that I wanted to see.
It's kind of worth a watch because I'll tell you this.
It is.
The set design is unparalleled.
Yeah.
All the costumes and shit. They have like giant, like, when he gets ordained fucking emperor and shit.
Man.
Like, holy crap.
They went all
They had
out.
thousands of people in one room with like outfits
and the fucking
the period. Like, I love that shit.
Yeah.
The period, you know, you get to see like ships and all kinds of stuff.
A lot of them are real. Yeah, there's people on them, and like they're going through the water and shit.
And
like
you
a
know
couple
how, like,
scenes there where you're like, oh.
Lord of the Rings syndrome, where big CGI army. It looks like they copy pasted everything.
And then they shipped it so they moved just a little bit differently.
Yeah,
but it's the
this
same.
was like, I was like,
yeah, it was.
I was half convinced he actually got like 1,000 horses for some of the scenes.
yeah.
I was like,
well, there were scenes where there was several hundred just lined up and people just on individual.
So the battles are pretty cool because they're big aerial views of you can just see like these huge armies clashing.
Yeah, or like a huge army marching that just goes off into the horizon. You're like, holy fuck.
There was some stupid shit where like you could tell like there's like a bunch of people fighting and like up above it is where the focal point of the scene is.
Yeah.
And instead of looking up there, I look down and there's people like for real. That's what it was. And I was like,
that's normal for fucking massive battles.
But
it's so hard to like not focus on the closest guy right in front of you fighting. But you look at everything behind them.
They framed it to where like they'll never look down there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was staring down there, and it was like. It was like,
or like,
it was beyond terrible.
Something that really threw me off was visually, and I'm like, it's something that I think a lot of people don't really pay attention to when they're watching a movie that has rain in it. It, like, because Waterloo is all wet and rainy leading up to the battle, and there's a scene where you can see it's just like raining right in this one area.
They have a rain machine that's like 50 feet wide.
It's like waves. You can see like waves of, and then
he's walking back a couple hundred feet, and there's no rain.
There's no rain. Like, you guys you could have CGI'd that or something. So yeah,
would at least be misty back there. It's like crystal clear back there.
Yeah, like, okay. I was like, because you're focused on him and he's walking across, and so that's where you're
good directing. You are focused, but
like.
I don't know what happened. Is it's really bland a lot of times. So my eyes actually were wandering around places.
Yeah, because I was like, what's interesting?
Places the director didn't want me to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's like just walking around. Yeah. It's cool him walking around talking to his army and like just even like just surveying. Mm-hmm. But like he's just walking, so I'm just gonna look around.
He's not doing anything interesting.
Busted.
Yeah. Anyway. So this movie does make me kind of want to do look up a brief history of.
I think I'm gonna when I get home.
I almost am compelled to because I'm kind of angry at the movie
I'm not angry.
I want to fill in the gaps.
I feel like they dropped the ball on that.
They did, but like
think about it though, we'd still be in there. If it was as long as we wanted it.
But we'd have a different review.
That's true. You're right.
Could be good. So, do I recommend it? I do. I think it's worth it. You'll probably,
if you like period pieces, it's pretty good that way.
It is good.
As a movie,
if you
it's just missing too much stuff.
It is. And
it's
I think
missing I don't know, man.
There's huge leaps in time.
It's like,
and then
it's like a ladder. And it's missing like a rung here and there.
Like, okay, you can still get up it, but
it kind of sucks. It's not a ladder I want to climb all the time.
And the other thing is, I think the strongest thing of this movie is the romance.
Yeah.
And they just fucking
shit can it at
the end. They do, and it's kind of depressing. He's upset about it.
He gets a new wife, and you never see her again.
Oh yeah, you see, that's again. He's just flying through this. This should have. You know what this should have been?
I wanted to get to know her.
Series. Yeah, she was like, well,
really a sweet lady.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, how does this happen?
Like, what is it?
He's gonna have some heirs with her.
Austria.
Yeah, it was like Austria.
Yeah, so
the eldest daughter of Austria.
He's trying to marry her and
form a partnership with the countries
them, obviously, and then also have an heir and then the royalty and all that. But according to this movie, he has a bastard child somewhere out there that's the son of Napoleon. What?
That's the one. The one that he had with that one 18-year-old girl.
Yeah, but like we never see them again. And like
no.
Well, I'm saying is like out in the world in real life, there's a whole ancestry.
Was his kid out?
Who are the two girls at the end?
I don't know.
He's just hanging out on the island, and there's two daughters. Maybe they're.
Did his son go out to where he was exiled? Like what?
I don't know.
They just gloss over all the stuff.
It's
stuff I want to know for like closure. For closure's sake.
There's very little closure in this. That's a good point. There's no bow at the end. It's just fucking. Well, we just opened the box and left it all in there.
Is she getting long? It's not running out of time.
That's all right. This is a controversial one for me because I'm kind of.
I think it's getting to low now. We're a little below half battery.
I guess. Should we wrap it up?
I feel we should. What else is there more to say? Let's give me I'll give you a 5 count. Well, I'll tell you this.
Well, I guess.
Hold on. There's a lot of cool swords and stuff.
Yeah.
And like when he goes to the armory, I thought that was a cool scene. He's like, how come there's not names attached to these swords?
Yeah.
This kid comes up to him and he's like, hey, you're the general.
It's Josephine's kid.
Yes. And I want.
She's like
I want a fucking.
My father died and like his saber is the only thing we have to remember him by. And he's like, but it's a weapon. You can't have that. Citizens can't have weapons.
And he does it though. He finds it in his
anyway.
Heart. But it's like. He just takes a rando sword and like.
Well, yeah, because he's like trying to find the one. He's like, "Where are the names on these swords? Like, how am I supposed to? Fuck it. This is it.
This is the swords of every fucking soldier
who was executed. Every officer that was executed.
That was a traitor or whatever.
Yeah, and so.
But that was a highlight scene because that's where I was like,
he's got heart. Right?
Well, that's where I was like, okay, because it's really close to the beginning. I was like,
it kind of is.
I'm in for like a good, wholesome, like. Not wholesome, but like a heartfelt movie. Like it's gonna hit me in the feels, and it never really did.
That part did for that
was great. Like I said, that was a great scene.
When he finally is a father.
Yes,
that was pretty. You could see it in his.
I'm a father.
His acting
when he looked at the baby, and he's like,
he tells me he's like, there's no feeling like that, man.
Yeah,
like I don't have any kids, so it's like, it's like, that's something.
But he did it great. I was like, I was like, word, brother.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Welcome to fatherhood, man. Yeah. So it was good, and his acting was great. He just starts like he can't barely help.
Yeah, he cries a bunch of times in this.
He's with Josephine for like 15 years.
Crippling his heart.
And they can't have a kid, and it's just it's tearing them apart. Otherwise, they'd be like fucking they'd be the power couple of the century, man. Like, they kind of were anyway, but it was just like they couldn't do it, so they had to dissolve their marriage.
So when he takes over and they start that triumvirate or whatever, it's not called that, but they're like 3 consuls.
Yep.
That rule the country. We get rid of all the old guys because they're corrupt and shitty.
They were, yep.
And so 3 people, and then it skips over.
Yeah.
How did he become emperor?
And then exactly. It's just like we don't he just grows to power and we don't know why and how and
the next scene is like him being emperor. Like they don't
getting coronated.
There's no one talking about it in the council or anything or him like seizing it.
This should have been by all rights
almost an hour longer.
No, I would go
a 2-parter?
Nope, I would maybe, but I think this would have been a great as like an actual like series.
A TV series.
A TV series, man.
You're probably right.
Put 8 hours into it. You can fulfill all of that. I mean,
you're right.
That would have been amazing.
He's got a long and complicated life.
He does,
and they just.
And they just they don't. This doesn't really do any service to Napoleon.
Ridley Scott's like, how do we go to point A to point B, point B to point C? Let's go.
Sir, we missed point C. Don't worry about it. Full steam ahead.
Well, it's like, how do we get from A to Z? Well, we're missing D, F, L, and he's like, fuck it.
Well, let's go. We gotta go. We just got. What do you want here? So
the studio says, fuck it.
Yeah, a budget constraints.
The studio says, fuck D, fuck L. That's what the studio says. All right,
studio. Fuck yeah! I mean, it felt like that. It felt like they were just. Whatever. We said it enough. We beat the dead horse. So.
And this is gonna be long as fuck.
Yeah. Sorry for keeping you guys this long. Hopefully. So would I watch this movie again? I don't know. I can't say that I would.
I don't think I would.
I would fast forward to all the romance and then I would and who wants to I can't do that. Like,
there's a couple battles I'd watch.
I don't even care.
I like the first battle. I thought it was cool.
Compared to like the relationship the few relationships he has, that shit is like.
Some of that shit's impressive.
The winter battle was pretty neat. It's a bulldozing.
Anyway, we better go. We better go.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and keep watching.
We don't know what the next movie's gonna be.
We don't know,
but I'm sure.
Well, what's out right now? There's like Jack and shit.
Well, there's Thanksgiving.
Jack Left Town.
I'm good on that one. So.
Okay. Well.
But see you guys next time.
Yep. Peace.